Hello everyone, I am the Normal Exile, and we are day 2 on the Mayhem event. Did that load? No, it didn't. Alright, so we're day 2 on the Mayhem event, so just wanted to give you guys an update on where the character is, what we've got going on. We are playing hardcore solo self-found. We are playing a Juggernaut. We're not doing anything super crazy. Basically what we've got is we are utilizing Chain Hook. Chain Hook is a skill that I have always wanted to play, but I'm not really the biggest melee person. And also, every video I watch on YouTube says that it's bad, you shouldn't do it, it's weird, it feels bad, it's not good, you shouldn't use it, and it's not fun. So, went ahead and did it anyway. I will say the build kind of feels... it's pretty good. It's... okay, now it's pretty good. I'm actually quite enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Because, man, once you get your rage stacks up, you can just boom, 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 and your attack speed is so fast. You can go flying with leap slam. You're like, and especially when you can get a chain of good chain hooks together. You just boom, 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 boom. It's literally so much fun. I will say the targeting. So basically, you throw out a chain, and what I've found is it's like if you target close, right? But if you throw it further away, that time, it increases the time. It lowers the tempo. So that's one thing. I do wish that the speed of that was more consistent, but I understand you're throwing a chain further. It takes longer to get there and to come back. So I'm okay thematically with that. The thing that gets me is the targeting, though, because sometimes you'll be like on a person, you'll click and you'll hold, and in my mind, I've targeted that enemy, so I should be targeting that enemy. But what can happen, especially is if you chain to them, you pull, you do your slam, and for whatever reason, sometimes it'll target the next person and the next person and the next person, and especially if you've got like two enemies, like let's say you've got one by the Hoarder crafting station here and one by the map device, it'll literally like throw you back and forth. It's really, 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 really strange. I'm still trying to figure out what that's all about. But yeah, you can see we didn't even finish putting away our loot from last night. We ended up getting pretty lucky with this weapon. Damage is really good. Had an open suffix for crafting attack speed, which was nice. The rest of the gear is total garbage. Life and resist, little bit of life, barely any resist. This has like... this is just dex, because I don't... or int. It was int, because I don't have any int on the build. This is alright. That's not a bad ring. It's got dex, life, no resist. It's got 3 all res, so it's pretty bad. But the gear's pretty bad. It's really, really, really bad, actually. But so I just wanted to show you guys that. Like I said, we are playing a jug. We've only got our first ascendancy, which is basically a bunch of endurance charges. I figured we would want we'd want tanky, we'd want something that can survive a lot of hits. So we are using a Mortal Call. The clear is decent. I kind of use Infernal Cry to help boost up the clear. I do use Ancestral Protector for that extra attack speed, because attack speed is the name of the game on this build. You want more attack speed, more attack speed, more attack speed, more attack speed. Excuse me. Like, I'm so serious. Like, you can never have enough attack speed. So, what we're going to do, we're just going to jump into the ridge. That's just where we are. We're super over-leveled, because this thing is dangerous. It is so stressful, but it is a ton of fun. So you can see, you just go flying, and like I said, when you get a good set of chains coming together, you can just boom, 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 and it's pretty fun. And then you get that. Let's see if we can get our rage up. We can show you how fast we can get around with get around with these chain hooks. So you go Infernal Cry, things explode, helps you out. Throw down your Ancestral Protector. We'll hit a Breach here. Alright, so we got our 60 rage. Do our Infernal Cry. Boom, 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 boom. Feels pretty good. The only thing is with multi-strike, it does not count as an exerted attack, I don't think. Because you can see Infernal Cry. We do still get our explosions, but then if you like Leap Slam, you can see down in the tooltip bar, you know, you actually can exert those attacks. So that's pretty dangerous. The build's not super tanky. I thought it was going to be a lot better because it's a jug, but so here we go. Yeah, you can see that attack speed feels really, really nice. We don't have much in the way of damage on this build, so we'll head back to the hideout. Talk about the gems that we selected. Okay, so as far as the main setup, we've got Chain Hook. Chain Hook on its own, when you hit, it does give you 1 rage. However, with multi-strike, each cast or whatever, so you hit and each repeat, the repeats do not give you rage, which it's a bummer. It's a bummer. I feel like it really should give you more rage because the build already has enough problems as it is with the targeting and with the, you know, you really need to scale attack speed, but you also want to scale AoE, and the AoE is kind of in this weird cone thing that also kind of hits like directly behind you for some reason, which is nice, but doesn't really, the build just doesn't really make any sense. We have a Link to Life tap because there's really no way we were going to get enough mana sustain because we're hitting, with maximum rage, we're hitting like 5 times a second. Even with multi-strike, it's just, there's no way we would get enough mana to be able to sustain that. And then basically what we had to do, because the multi-strike really makes the build come online, because that's what really puts it all together. Because before, you know, you'd throw out your chain, and if it decides to chain you to somebody else, then you're like chain, 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 chain. It goes flying all over the screen. Doesn't really make any sense. But with multi-strike, at the very least, you get your chain, you get your slam. You know, so you're getting that AoE damage. So even if you're flying all over the place, you're still getting that AoE damage. You're still clearing things. And I think multi-strike is absolutely mandatory. I'm not 100% sold on rage. I do think at some point I will get the Axe Mastery for the rage and see how that feels instead of the rage gem. Because if that feels good, then we will definitely go with that. But for right now, it's, you basically don't generate enough rage with the gem alone with multi-strike. So that just kind of is what it is there. I'm not bothered by it because, again, the skill is so much fun. Like, as soon as we got this weapon, this dropped like right before we killed Avarius, whatever, the Chamber of Innocence guy that I don't like fighting. Right before we fought him, and then we went from like 179 DPS to like 1,000. It was a giant upgrade, made all the difference in the world, and it's just really, really good. So there's a couple things. It's an attack, AoE, movement, melee. So it's not a strike, and it's not a slam. So one thing I am interested in trying out, obviously this is solo self-found, so you can't, you know, guarantee that what you want is going to drop. But I would really like to do scepters. The reason I would like to do scepters is a scepter or mace, because then you can use shockwave. I feel like shockwave would be really, really neat with the build, and I really wanted to go stun. Like, initially, that was my whole plan, was you chain hook in, you slam, you get your stuns, nobody's hitting you, and then you're just flying around killing stuff. I still think that's definitely a possibility, but at the moment, it's kind of not. because we got this pretty sweet axe. So I've been having fun. The event's going pretty well. My technique straight out of the gate was actually, I got really lucky on the coast. There was Harbingers, and they dropped Orbs of Binding, and I was like, maybe I can use these Orbs of Binding, like before I even get to the mud flats. So I farmed back and forth until I had 2 Orbs of Binding. I hit a 2-handed axe, turned into complete garbage. It had like 1 to 3 fire damage added to attacks and some fire resist, and 1 mana gained per kill, so I was really salty about that. And then I got a decent pair of boots. I think I still have them. I don't still have them. They had like 9 life, 10% movement speed, and then cold and lightning resist. So pretty solid boots for level 1. I also got pretty lucky with this ring. Right when we got to the ledge, we got a bunch of lucky stuff. We have not. This is the first and only character I've made. We haven't died yet. So it's pretty sweet. Basically where we're heading with the build is we're going to pick up Testudo for 30 life recovered on block. We're going to grab the +1 chance to block attack damage per 5% chance to block on shield. We're going to grab Command of Steel, and then we're going to grab Defiance, and then we're going to grab Versatile Combatant. So that should, if my math was correct when I did it last night, I was basically asleep, but that should land us at about 58% chance to block attacks, which should be 50%, and then 16% spell block. And then we're going to use Tempest Shield for another 22%, which would put us at about 38%. And then if we really want to max that out, the plan was to grab Sanctuary, because it gives us a lot of good resists, gives us a lot of overall block. And then the only other thing I was considering was maybe instead of going Command of Steel, which gives us 8% chance to block attacks and 40% increased defenses from our shield, would be to instead grab Deflection and do the 20 life gained and 20 mana gained when you block, which would just be another recovery layer. The recovery on this build isn't super great. Excuse me, we've got a little bit of life regen in the Marauder area here. At some point we are going to grab Hardy, I think, and then we're going to grab Endurance Charge and Endurance Charge. But that's about all the recovery. We'll probably end up grabbing Golem's Blood and the regenerate 2% of life while moving. But now this is crazy. I would have never thought this. When you chain hook, when you're flying around, you're considered stationary. So I'm about this close to being tempted to using Arctic armor. I think that would be low-key broken, but I do still have to test it because I was just basing it off of stationary. I was basing it off of inexorable because I had spec'd into that just to see how that would play out, and I tabbed open, had my defense up, and the armor was still there. So, but yeah, it has been fun. I have enjoyed the build. For those of you that were on stream with us, that's the build. That's the plan. My goal is to get through the axe with this character, see if we can pull it off. And I don't know if you guys saw, I didn't like shout it out, but we've had 2 raw Divine Orbs drop. So I'm kind of bummed about that because I know it's not going to the Kalandra League, which would be really, 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 really helpful for me because those 2 Divines would pay for my next gear piece, which would be really awesome. But that's okay. We'll survive. So that's the video. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's popped on stream. If you're not following me, twitch.tv/thenormalexile. We just like to have fun over there, talk about random builds, random stuff. We try out some crazy stuff like Chain Hook in a solo self-found MaYHEM league. So if you like that sort of stuff, stop by. I'm always willing to have a chat with people, talk about builds and stuff, and just have some fun. So just want to say thank you guys, and have a great night. Bye!